Oh, geez. Okay. So this next book is called Persephone. Of all of the Greek myths, I think Persephone might probably be my favorite story because, like, Persephone adapts really well to the underworld, at least from the version that I've heard. And people always confuse Hades for Thanatos. Hades is not the god of death, he's the god of the underworld. Thanatos is who most of you are talking about. He is the god of death, the Greek god of death, at least. And wow, this book. I think I really got to stop reading erotic literature. That or anything that I read has to be before the year 2011 or 2010 cuz man, okay. The listed genres are erotic literature and fairy tale, and the author says that this is her favorite story from Greek mythology. She has also removed Demeter. So, for those of you that may not know, Persephone was like she's the goddess of spring, and she was like down on earth, and she was just like having fun. And then Hades saw her, and he was like, "Ooh, she's hot." So he like I and depending on which version you read, he either kidnaps her or he just like talks to her and convinces her to have some pomegranate seeds, and then he like takes her to the underworld because she consumed food that belongs to the underworld. So her mother loses her shit and creates winter. So Zeus is like, you need to send Persephone back right now. And Hades is like, she ate the food that belongs to the underworld. I'm not sending her back. So the compromise was that for 6 months out of the year, Persephone would stay with her mother. And then for another 6 months, she would stay with Hades. And Hades and Persephone got married. Huzzah. So that's the original story. So in this book, Persephone thinks that she's human because Zeus heard about the prophecy that Persephone and Hades were going to get married. So he hid her on Earth, and he would like wipe her memory every couple of years and move her around so that Hades couldn't find him. But then the book begins, and Hades finds her, and uh, Hades has been looking for her for 9 centuries, and he's finally found her. And he basically kidnaps her and makes her eat pomegranate seeds. That's the first one. That's the first problem. Persephone still thinks that she's mortal because, no one has really told her otherwise, and no one has proved to her otherwise. So why else wouldn't she think that she's mortal? And, like, fucking Christ, I hate this book so much. Hades is easily melted by her, but 9 centuries has made him a little kooky, and he wants like both to own and to love her, and Persephone is just trying to survive in this place, and she's slowly starting to like him, and he's starting to melting more, and there's some BDSM light, LITE, BDSM light, and there's a bit of a voyeurism show, and I guess Hades is like trying to introduce her to like his world of depravity or something like that, because like Persephone is like picture perfect innocence. It reads more kind of like Christian corruption rather than like Greek corruption, because in like I don't remember virginity being like a super important concept to the Greeks, but whatever, I guess. And Persephone's never even kissed yet before, and it's at this point that they decide to have sex. And Hades Hades this has also decided that uh he's not gonna punish Persephone for Zeus's folly and like hiding her from him. And the underworld in this book is Hades' home, and Persephone, and it's Hades says that it is where Persephone can enjoy and be enjoyed by others. Like, what is even happening? And I wrote down a few quotes here because, oh God, this one says he wanted to spend every moment teaching her body how to please him. And this one says, she belongs to him just like you belong to me. This is how it should be. And like there's a romantic way to say that like you belong to somebody. That's not it. And Persephone also still thinks that she's human at this point, and we're like halfway through the book now. The castle can also create phantom sensations, and it just does whatever you want it to, and it's like, what? And she's having some identity she's having some identity issues, and like she thinks that Hades might be using magic on her, or like she's actually Hades' plaything and Zeus used magic to hide that. Are they both manipulating her? God. She hates this place, And when he's not around her, for some reason, she's tired. That doesn't make any fucking sense, but whatever, I guess. So they go to a party and they just have a giant orgy. Meanwhile, Zeus, who has noticed that Persephone is gone, has decided to create winter because, send her back. And why would Hades care about humans? He runs the underworld. Oh, fuck. Hades says that he's going to destroy some souls if he has to, but Persephone might not like that, and she'd suffer more for it. And the parties are pretty common, and like pleasure is apparently how he escapes the gloominess of the underworld, which is a fair comparison. But like, what? When Hades isn't around one time, she absently tries to kill herself. Like, I'm gonna come back to that. Anyway, like, instead of talking to her and trying to calm her down, he decides to punish her for some fucking reason, and he calls Zeus's bluff again, and then goes and destroys some souls. And Persephone tried to stop him, but it didn't work, and it just like turns him into like a bigger monster and makes him reveal his true form, like he's Lucifer from the show Lucifer or something like that. I don't even know. Zeus stops the winter because Hades called his bluff, and Zeus is apparently super weak in this version, and Hades feels vindicated, and for some reason he goes to punish Persephone, and she is still calmed by his presence, even though he's like actually hurting her. And he has said out loud that he wants her to fear him and he wants to hurt her and acts like she is his property. Ah. Jesus fucking Christ. So she gets her powers back and she's able to like change him into like his self like 900 years ago before he got all crazy. And then they go and talk to Zeus and they make a deal and they're still talking like she's not even in the room, and they decide that she's supposed to spend 6 months on Earth and 6 months in the underworld. Okay. The book is only like 100 pages long and it felt a whole lot longer, and it had a lot of context. It had a lot of content because it was just over a longer period. And I can appreciate the prose and the way that the author writes her sex scenes. They did not feel awkward, even though it was weird. And this book gets right into it. So I get the point that 900 years in the underworld corrupted Hades and made him cruel and made him hedonistic. I get that the point was that he wasn't supposed to care what Persephone wanted, but he still spoke with Zeus like she had no free will and wasn't even in the room. And like Hades says that like the demon part, crazy part was him too, and Persephone like shouldn't forgive him, and he's absolutely correct. Like, are you kidding me? Are we just going to forget the fact that he like chained her up and shit and punished her when she didn't do anything wrong and also kidnapped her at the beginning of the story? Are we just gonna forget that? Like, any person who tells you that they, in a non-BDSM way, delight in hurting you, that's a problem. Like, especially if you don't want them to be hurting you, this is a problem. And I just, oh my God. I don't even know, bruh. Like, doing this review is making me move the book from where it was, because originally it was in the good book list because of all the other things that are on the wouldn't read again list. But I'm now realizing that this needs to be much lower. I'm actually gonna put it right above her new, not right above it, but I'm actually gonna put it above Her New Reign. And God, like, what? So many of these books that are erotic fantasy, they just read as 50 Shades of Grey, sometimes worse, sometimes better. And any book that I read that is erotic literature needs to have come out before that time. And I'm pretty sure that The Delectable Lady d'Estelle, I'm pretty sure that book came out before 50 Shades of Grey, and that's classified as erotic literature, and it certainly reads like it because there's no person who's like rich or like the leader or something. There's no BDSM. Why does all erotic literature immediately default to BDSM? And like, I just, I don't know if I'm gonna purposefully seek out another BDSM book because I just don't think I can handle it, honestly. Because I just get so angry and so heated because there's so many things in these books that are not good representations of romance, and I'm just like, there are people in the world who like this shit and don't realize that this is probably the most damaging story you could ever write. People don't realize how much literature affects people, and it makes me very annoying. Like, I'm very annoyed. It also makes me annoying because I won't stop ranting about it. Like, literature is very important. Don't listen to people who say that it's not.